You have an inner bully, and that girl is ruthless. Hi, welcome back. So you saw the title of the video, so you already know that today I'm giving advice to my younger self. This video was inspired by one of my Married at First Sight reaction videos. By the way, if you're not watching those, go ahead and check those out while you're on my channel. There is a husband on the show, and he had this whole plan for his life. He wanted to be married by a certain age. That age has come and gone, and he's still not married. And so it had me thinking, like, if my younger self saw my current self, she would be surprised. Like, what would she say to me? What kind of questions would she have? What advice would I give her? I was like, let me make a video about this. And so here we are. I wanted to share with y'all the advice that I would give to young Ashley. For some context, I am going to be talking to the version of myself between the ages of like 18, 19 to like now, so like 29-year-old me. Some of this advice is advice that I could still use to this day, and so I'm going to be talking to current me as well. So before we get started, I do have a question for y'all. Are you subscribed? If not, go ahead and hit that button below, and while you're there, give me a thumbs up and I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so the first piece of advice I would give younger me is learn how to use a credit card. Story time. I remember my first credit card was from Discover, and it had this cute cassette case design on it. It was so cool. I didn't really know like the functions of it. I just didn't really I knew my credit limit was $500, and so to me, I was like, I got an extra $500 in my pocket. Cool. I remember I was just like swiping it anywhere. Like that was like the replacement to my debit card, essentially. Like Chick-fil-A, swipe. Target, swipe. Walmart, swipe. Like I was just kind of using it flippantly, like not really thinking about it. And I remember my mom calling me and being like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What?" And it happened to be like a lesson in like not just using this all willy-nilly and like using it for like bigger purchases or like emergencies more so, like not just for any and everything. Like if I just want some french fries from McDonald's across the street, I don't need to be using a credit card. Like I wish that was just something that's like taught. I'm sure a lot of us feel like this, like financial literacy is just not really a thing that, well, it wasn't a thing back then that was just like, back then, like I'm so old, but it wasn't a thing back then, like being taught like how to properly use credit cards or like manage money and all that kind of stuff. Even after the whole like Discover card thing, like I still got more credit cards the older I got. I was of this mindset of like, let me get credit cards for like every type of aspect of my life so that I'm just good, right? Y'all, I had that Discover card, Victoria's Secret card, Old Navy card, Firestone, American Express, Wells Fargo, Capital One. So over the last like 10 years, I've had all those cards. Let me tell y'all my thought process. So I was like, okay, Firestone, I'm gonna need an oil change. Victoria's Secret, when I want some bras or some panties or whatever, cool. Old Navy, they got cool, cute little clothes, like work clothes, whatever, boom. Wells Fargo, I bank with them. All right, cool. Some other stuff happened. I had to open up the Capital One card, same for American Express. And so then I ended up with 7 cards. Not the best idea. Granted, let me say, I was paying all those bills on time, but that was still 7 bills that I'm paying. While that thought process made sense to me then, that's not something I would advise younger me to do now. Good news, all but one of those cards are now paid off, but y'all know how much money that was though? Like, I don't know, I really had to sit down and do that math, but like just paying all of those off over that span of time was like a lot of money that could have just been in my pocket. The second piece of advice I would give younger me is any advice related to guys, as in like, don't stay when you see that first red flag. Don't stay based off potential. You can't change a man. Don't settle. Know your worth. All of that stuff. I would tell her all of that, and I hope that she would hear it and internalize it and take that advice, because so many tears could be saved. So much time could be saved. It was just a mess. Like was definitely that person that was like, oh, he'll change for me. Oh, you see that he's a great person. Like, stay for the potential. Like, he'll get better. Like, he just needs someone to help him out and encourage him and push him to do it. No, I didn't need to be that person. Another story time. This story time is actually related to a credit card. So look at these two stupid things coinciding with each other. One of the dumbest things I have done is pay a traffic ticket for a guy on one of those credit cards that I was just telling y'all about. And actually wasn't even one traffic ticket, it was two. And if y'all know, traffic tickets are not cheap. Stuff like that is just like, what are you doing, girl? Like, that's your money. Like, don't be doing that for some guy. And I just know that I was definitely staying in relationships or situationships or whatever you want to call them when I had no business still being there. One sign that you know you're doing something you don't have no business doing is when you don't tell your friends. I was definitely like, well, I'm not gonna tell them this because I don't want to hear their mouth or they're gonna judge me and blah blah blah. Well, if they're gonna judge you, you're probably giving them a reason to judge you, and they're gonna ask you questions that you're gonna have to answer, and then you're gonna hear how stupid you sound. So that's why you don't want to tell them. When I learned that, I was just like, okay, if there's a reason you're keeping this from your circle, then you don't need to be doing this. And when it comes to like staying with a guy for his potential or thinking he's gonna change, like, I definitely have this mindset that like I'm the exception to all rules, but like nobody's gonna change unless they want to change. I had to learn that lesson because I just thought like if I walked into their life, then like, yeah, they might have been like low down and dirty or whatever beforehand, but like, no, they're gonna be good to me. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, if somebody wants to change, then they'll change, but like, don't think that they're just gonna magically change for you if they're not ready to do so. The third piece of advice I would give myself is other people's thoughts about you are literally none of your business. This was something that I honestly still struggle with today, but it definitely came about heavily when I was in grad school. I remember being in classes and not wanting to talk. Like, if anyone from grad school is watching this, y'all know that I was super quiet in class those whole 2 years. I was just so nervous about what people would think about me whenever I had to like contribute in class. And I remember my heart would be beating so fast and my hands are shaking and my palms are sweaty. I sound like an Eminem song. Honestly, that's like what led me to starting therapy in the first place. At the time, I didn't know that it was because I was worried about what people would say. Like, my therapist kind of helped me to realize that. And I just didn't like how much power people's thoughts had over me. Again, like, this is something I still struggle with today, but like, I'm trying to work through it, trying to work past it. And one thing that I've learned is that like, people are not thinking about me. Like, I'm spending all this time wondering what they're going to say or what they're thinking about what I'm doing. And it's like, they're worried about themselves. Like, they're not thinking about me. And I saw this one quote that really hit home, and it was like, how egotistical of us to think that other people are thinking of us. And I was just like, okay, touche. Even if people are thinking about you, if they're not saying it to you, then it don't matter. The last piece of advice I would give younger me is be kind to yourself, girl, because you have an inner critic, an inner bully, and that girl is ruthless. And you are going to become very aware of her the older you get. You practice being kind to yourself earlier, you'll be better equipped to battle her or stop her from talking, or maybe even prevent her from even showing up. Who knows? That is something that I'm still telling myself today, because y'all, I am so mean to myself sometimes. It's just not okay. Like, the way I talk to myself sometimes is like, you would never talk to one of your friends like this. So like, why are you talking to yourself like that? Younger me, be kind to yourself. Whatever kind of affirmations that you need to tell yourself, whether it's sticky notes on a mirror, writing to yourself in the journal, writing love letters to yourself, whatever it is, start that the earlier the better, so that you can combat that inner bully whenever she does show up. All right, y'all, that wraps up my video for today. I hope y'all enjoyed the advice that I would give to younger Ashley. Comment below any advice that you would give to your younger self, or if you have any experience with the advice that I would give to my younger self. Again, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button and give me the thumbs up while you're there. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.